Coming up on today's episode. Good evening, YouTube. Here with you at the bench once more. Playing around here with the BD20wattR amplifier that Bob designed it some time ago and I built, and yet never did have the proper power supply for it. As far as I had this, but I didn't have it hooked up to an actual power supply, and I do now. Basically, the power supply is a bridge rectifier and I think a 2200 ohm microfarad capacitor, electrolytic. And we were going to start working on this again, and so what we've done basically is got it all together and wanted to adjust the idle current for 30 milliamps, which we tried to do this morning. It did not work, and it's still not working, but here's what it sounds like. So it don't sound too bad. So again, that's going to be what we're going to be selling here, hopefully for long. As soon as we can figure out the current problem with this. Now, Bob has no problem at all setting the idle current with his. There is a 5K pot located right here. You can't see it for the wires hardly, but there it is, that blue one right there. And that you're supposed to dial in for 30 milliamps of current going into the amplifier itself. So there you go there. No, I didn't know it was still playing. I guess I better stop it. But anyway, this transformer here puts out 18 volts, basically 9 volts on each side of the center tap. And the combined, time you rectify it and filter it, it comes out to around 28, 29 volts. And we're trying to basically judge this, see if it's going to be able to handle everything it has so far, and maintained, it's whatever it's supposed to be. But again, as I started to say, the idle current needs to be set for this first. I did talk to Bob. In fact, we just got offline from a meeting, and he said it shouldn't hurt it to play this for a while. And I wanted to do a little demo of it along with this, and then we're going to look at this again in the morning. And Bob's gonna, we did do some checking on some voltages on resistors and things like that. Bob wanted to know if they were correct, and we can go from there after that to find out why. We did check the actual potentiometer itself. It does go up and down as it's supposed to. It went from whatever it was in the middle, around the middle of it, to 0 volts on one side of it, or 0 ohms on one side of it, to basically 5K on the other side. So it was, I adjusted it all the way up for one way, and then, it's going to work. It's working that way just fine. So it's not the pot. It doesn't seem to be the voltage. Obviously, again, it does work. Oh, I turned it off again, didn't I? But it is working. And that's what we wanted, basically, out of this, is this type of amplifier. So very happy with that. And again, well, like I said, we're going to check in the morning. Bob wanted to wait until his eyes were fresh. I don't blame him. I'm about the same way. So nothing's getting hot or warm or anything like that. And Bob said, well, it's not even drawing. I think it measures around 14 milliamp. Right now the way it is, and it doesn't matter what you do with this potentiometer here, one way or the other or in between, it stays right at around 14.5 milliamps. Milliamps. See, I told you, I'm tired too. But again, so that needs to be able to adjust that up to 30 milliamps, and that's what we're going to do. So we're going to try again tomorrow to play around with this some more and find out why. Now his worked, the one he built, which is basically just exactly like this, and it worked. It adjusted just fine. So it's not really a problem with the circuitry, we don't think. Kind of the first thought maybe is an open something or other here or there or whatever. Again, he had me check the voltages around this potentiometer, and they were all right. I won't say right on the money, but they were close enough to be not the problem, is what we found out. So, anywho, that's that, and I think it's going to work out pretty good. I'm happy with it, very happy. Right now I have 121.8 volts going into the transformer. I'm running it on the Variac. We tried to run it basically what the line voltage here goes for, and that's, you know, it's anywhere from 119 to 121, somewhere right in there. But anywho, that's that, and happy about that. So let me get off here, and maybe in the morning we'll record some more of this and see if we can't get this lined out. Now this case, I don't know how well you can tell, but this is a different case than it was in before. I didn't like that case much because of the way it worked, because I needed something I could put the controls on. As you see, I've got them mounted. I've also got the back part of it mounted in the speaker output here and the input. I don't have the power cord going in, obviously, yet. We're still working on that. But I wanted to get something that could be mounted, totally mounted and tested just like we're doing right now, and without the top. Now I do have the top printed for this, and it is right there. And it will be, you know, able to be going on there. I'll have to drill holes in the sides on each side and put down in these things here to secure it. But that won't be a problem once we get to that point. But there's no sense in putting it together until it's done. That's the way I think about it anyway. So I think most people do. So, all right, you guys have a great day, or a great day. You guys stick around for more in the morning, and we'll bring some more. I had to mail out another BDST today. I think that's 2 we sold this last week, and so we're happy about that. Actually, I should say I mailed one out, and we got another order in, so that's 2 this week. So happy about that. And so anyway, that's what's going on here. I posted for anybody that doesn't know, I posted a video on my other channel, Mosslack channel, yesterday, I think, and it was on our Kings Island Winterfest visit with my son and his family on the Saturday, and it was kind of neat. The best part of it's the show that the Winterfest players did, What the Dickens is what it was called, Christmas Carol, and it was, of course, obviously a condensed version, but it was pretty good. They were pretty funny. And so, like I say, if you get a chance to take a look at that, and let me know what you think. So, all right, you guys have a great one, and we'll see you in the morning. Good day again at YouTube. Back with you again at the bench. As I mentioned in the, I believe, in the previous section, previous clip, whatever you want to call it, we were unable to get the amplifier adjusted for the 30 milliamps through these output transistors here. So last night I looked at the schematic, and I'm going to pop that up on the screen. As you can see, I surmised from looking at the schematic that this pot here should cause a voltage difference on the base of the I believe Q4 is it? I can't remember. I don't have it up. But anyway, this transistor here, right next to it, it should. That's what that pot does. Adjusts the bias on that transistor, which in turn adjusts the bias and stuff on these transistors. And so I surmise that if that voltage changes, then it has to be. The problem has to be in this transistor here. That was my surmisation. That was what I surmised last night. So this morning, when I got back in here to start looking at this, the first thing I did was to monitor the voltage on the base while I adjusted that transistor, and sure enough, the voltage varied from I think I was at 1220 to down around 1156, and I didn't go all the way on the potentiometer, but that at least told me that there was a variation. When you turn this, it did vary the voltage. So in other words, the problem got to here, or not the problem, but the circuit was working up to this point. Now, so the next thing I figured was the best thing to do was to pull this transistor and either replace it or check it, and that's exactly what I did. And as you can see for the next pop-up here, that was how the transistor checked out on the transistor tester. And as you can see, it's just fine. No problems whatsoever with it. And as such, I told Bob I was going to, asked him if there was any harm in just replacing or putting it back in. He said, no, go ahead and reuse it. So I did, and in the meantime, before I actually stuck it in there, I got to looking a little closer at the back of the board here, and I'm going to pop up another picture. You can see there on that, I'm going to circle that where I think it's a bad solder joint. It's a cold solder joint. And so what I did was I took my solder wick and I cleaned that connection off, and then I reflowed solder onto that connection. And there was another connection there close by. I went ahead and reflowed it. I didn't clean it off, but I just reflowed the solder. And I reinserted the transistor, got that solder back in, and we made another test of the board. And as you can see, another pop-up on my pictures here. 30 milliamps is what I have, again measured in the line, in the B+ line. Now, some question I have on that is the fact that it says in the directions the current is through those transistors. Now, I'm monitoring the B+ line, which, is at a certain point, but I don't know. Bob seemed to think that was the correct way of doing it also, so I guess there's no problem with it. But anyway, it is set to 30 milliamps now, and that was the case, what we did. So let me fire it up here, and we'll see if you can hear some sound coming from the speaker up above. Get me some voltage up here. Been trying to run this right at 120 because I think that's what our line is here. There you go. Now, don't have anything going into it right now. Let's see if I can get something fired up here. I've got this little MP3 player loaded with YouTube friendly music. So fire up a little bit of volume there. So there you can hear it is working perfectly, and I do mean perfectly. Now, I had this playing a little bit last night. Bob said it wouldn't hurt it any, and I thought I detected some distortion in it, and I probably did because of the cold solder joint. So I think it is fixed perfectly now, and it is working perfectly. So now the only problem I have with anything at all on this part of it is the controls. The volume control is normal. It goes down like that, it goes up like that, like it should. But both the treble and the bass, that's full treble. That's minus or no treble. So those are backwards. Same with this one. That's full bass. No bass. So those two are backwards. I'll have to basically reverse these leads on these here. Not sure why that did that. Not a big deal. But like I said, it is working. And like I said, after I get those problems fixed, I want to take my case top, get it screwed on like it's supposed to be. And this one should be ready to go. I want to try to secure the power supply here some way onto the case to where it doesn't rattle around inside. That would be probably a good idea. And I also eventually want to add a on-off switch to it. And I've got a couple, 3 switches I can use for that purpose. And we'll get those in there and get that done. So that's the plan, anywho. But like I say, I'm very, very happy with this. Alright, well there you go. That's a good demo of it because, like I say, that sound, it's very difficult to hear over the camera audio and then YouTube's audio, but that is crisp and clear and clean as any sound I've ever heard. That's just perfectly, and these are bad, not bad speakers, but cheap speakers, or Panasonic speakers that came with a system, you know, it's one of those portable, not portable, but small stereo bookshelf type systems. They sound really good, and like I said, that's all due to this device right here. And this is going to be the BD20wattR, and like I said, it is a nice little amp, and it can be outfitted as stereo with 2 boards, and it's going to be a nice little amp, period. And I'm very, very pleased with the results of this. just also goes to show you the importance of good soldering techniques. I must have messed up on one of them, I'm sure. So, like I said, it is what it is, but we do have it working perfectly now, and I'm very, very pleased with it. Now, these transformers here are, like I said, these are 18 volt transformers. These are available on YouTube. They're very reasonable. These are Chinese, obviously, made in China. This is a 2 amp transformer, and as I said, the rectified and filtered results of that, I should say, is around 28, 29 volts, and that works perfectly with this setup here. And so really there's, you can see the simplicity of my power supply. There is just the bridge rectifier and a 2200 ohm, or microfarad, I think I said ohm before, 2200 microfarad electrolytic capacitor, and that's it. And that's all that's necessary to get that decent sound. So again, very, very pleased with that, and I believe we're going to sell these, but again, I don't know for sure. I was just trying to monitor. Now that's how warm the transistor got. I've got my finger on it. It's warm. I mean, I'm not saying it's hot, but it's warm. You can feel it, you know, in your finger. Same with this one. But like I said, it's not warm enough to where I can't keep my finger on it, you know. So, like I said, that was a good little demo there, I think. And I'm very pleased with this, and there'll be more details on this coming, I'm sure. Bob got the new boards in for the, I believe, Don's little radio tester that we're trying out, and he's began to populate that. So we are working feverishly, and that's a good word. There, that is Bob's. Yeah, I guess you could hear the cha-ching. That's my little sound for Bob's text, because you know, we are in business together. So I just thought that was kind of funny. So let me get off here and do that. And you guys, in the meantime, have a great day. It's getting close to Christmas. I don't know about weather-wise where you're at, but here it's supposed to be down around 0 Friday, I think. Yeah, I think it's Friday. So we're not looking for that. I believe the high Friday is supposed to be only around 5 degrees here. So I'm not really sure I'm going. I'm supposed to go to my daughter's on Christmas Eve, and I'm not really sure I'm going unless the temperature comes up a little bit from that level, because I don't really like getting out in that kind of cold. So I guess we'll see what will be, but we'll see. So anyway, you guys have a great day. Thank you so very much for watching, and I want to wish everybody Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year if I don't get back with you before then. And you guys, do appreciate you guys watching, and we will see ya.